Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Williams' Return to Glory. In this episode, we are going to Jeddah and Melbourne. I don't believe I've shown this since we've switched over to refueling. Hopefully, we can hire some new members to kind of add to in recovery, but we now have refueling now with these two people. Thankfully, we have enough to kind of have 20 everywhere, but we're going to cycle through. I'm going to see if I can hire some new people without having to fire some people, and I'll be back once everything's rotated. Alright, so we've gone through and done some rotation. Unfortunately, we can't hire any new people. So we're going to have only like 5 people to cycle through. So this mistake percentage might get pretty high before the end of the year. So from the mail screen, we have stuff about Russell. We got an interview with Channel 4. Which one of our drivers is better? We'll say Ricardo. So from the part improvement screen, we just got the new gearbox. It's 1508, 1548. We are putting that on reliability. It'll be done 3 hours before the race. We have removed all the other parts from the reliability, so hopefully we're able to fix this, and then we'll put everything else on after the race. So from the part design screen, I just wanted to show this again. Unfortunately, our engines are starting to go below the average. I think we are going to potentially just be bouncing around, get these parts close enough to the average part moniker here, which is shown by that little gray arrow. Once we get close enough to that, we're going to switch to another part. So I think we're going to go gearbox, maybe 1 or 2 suspensions, and then back to engine. We are still okay with our engines, but it's just so hard to kind of get these engines up. So we're going to build just 1 gearbox right now, and then we'll kind of evaluate what we're going to do next. Alright, so from part design, this is going to be our next gearbox, 1548. Current ability, 1588 cap. The reliability looks like it's going to be 20%. I don't know why it says plus 35%, and then it takes everything away. It's been kind of finicky this whole career mode, but we're going to build this and then hopefully have it on for next race. So we're getting ready to go to the next race, but I wanted to just show what we're going to do with the part improvement. This will be like this until we get the new gearbox in. We're just going to focus on trying to get some things in the reliability, get them up over 80, hopefully closer to 100, and then we're able to kind of focus on single parts at one at a time. So we're going to have this on up until we have to put that new gearbox in here. So this will be like this for the next race. Alright, so getting ready for Jeddah, no sponsor select, we get 563,000 leaving, tire selections, the 15, 10, 10, and part fitting, I put the new gearbox on Vettel's car so both drivers are happy. Anyways, on to Saudi Arabia. Getting ready for Jeddah, we're going to put Ricardo Vettel in the car, just because they have the better feedback. I'm very bummed that they're starting to regress stats-wise. I think if Vettel dips under 3 stars, I think I might put Tsunoda in, but we're going to keep both drivers for the rest of the year, hopefully, and, at least just keep one as our kind of reserve driver. So hopefully we're able to, use him for his feedback, and then we can use Tsunoda for his superior stats and areas, and then also he's a paid driver, so that'll help us financially, but we're going to focus on the soft tire, and we're going to skip through practice. Alright, so following practice, Vettel, Ricardo, 10th and 9th. Top of the board was George Russell. Alright, so getting ready for qualifying, we did not focus on the super soft tire at all, so we have quality level 3, and then we have sweeter spots on Ricardo, but we do not have that for Vettel. He only has qualifying level 3, so setup-wise, we got Vettel's setup 98% out of the box. We have 98% in Ricardo, so we don't have any work to do, so we're going to try to get 3 laps with both cars. Alright, so Ricardo comes around the final corner. He goes perfect on his out lap. Let's see where he ends up with his time. Alright, so Ricardo comes around the final corner. Ricardo went 14th last time, Vettel went 15th. Let's see what they can do this time around. So Ricardo's up his middle sector. He's going to go 10th, and Vettel's going to go 8th. Alright, so Ricardo's out on his out lap. He went out a lot earlier than Vettel did. He's down his first sector. He's down his second sector. He crosses the line and stays 12th. Vettel is going to stay 9th. Alright, so getting ready for the Grand Prix in Jeddah. We're going to do a split strategy here. I just realized I switched the knowledge around on both cars. That would have been funny if I had gone through in the race with that. We're going to put Vettel on the medium tire. We're going to put Ricciardo on the soft tire. We're going to have Vettel go longer, hopefully either catching out a safety car or just, having that be the optimal strategy. The race is only 42 laps long, so the tires need to just last 21 laps, and with how these tires kind of raise up in temperature, I don't think we're going to have too much trouble keeping the soft tire on the cars. So that's going to be the strategy with that. Setup wise, I said he got a 98% on his setup. It was actually 100% straight out the gate first run, so that's cool. I think that's like the second time we ever had that this entire career. Strategy wise, we're going to go overtake for like 3 laps. We're just going to push for the first lap because these tire temperatures kind of skyrocket, so we're going to keep an eye on that, and then try to remember to actually turn the engines down. Fuel doesn't add too much time, so I'm leaving the cars kind of max filled, so if we have to change our strategy and when we pit, it doesn't add a bunch of time to our pit stop. So anyways, we're going to move on to the starting grid. So your starting lineup for Jeddah is George Russell, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, Liam Lawson, Teo Pourchaire, Daniel Ricciardo, Robert Schwartzman, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Guan Yu Zhou, Dennis Hauger, Mick Schumacher, and Lance Stroll. Alright, so here are your 5 red lights. Got to keep an eye on these tire temperatures, especially on Ricciardo since he's on the softer tire. Vettel is the farthest up on the medium tire. And these tire temperatures are already starting to get kind of extreme, so we are going to immediately put Ricciardo onto neutral, and we're also going to put Vettel onto neutral. We're just going to keep an eye on their temperatures. We're actually going to let him push for a little bit here on the fuel. So this is the second lap on the fuel. We'll let him go to 4 laps. So this is starting 3rd lap on track. It says 4, but Alright, so here's your 4th lap. We are going to put them on conserve on the tires because holy crap. And then we're going to see where Vettel crosses the line. And once Vettel crosses the line, we are going to go on to medium. Same with Ricciardo. So we're going to watch to see if this actually cools the tires when we're on conserve. We're going to mainly focus on Ricciardo here because Ricciardo is kind of our first pit stopper. So we're going to just keep an eye on him and see if he can kind of move up the field. Vettel's doing a really good job to stay in the points, but he's behind Pourchaire. He's going to be able to overcut him on the pit stops here. So Ricciardo's just holding station. He is the lowest running of the 3 on the the soft tire, those being Ocon, Schumacher, and himself. Alright, we're going to put him on overtake because he's going to have to pit at some point, so he needs to start moving up the field here. So he passes Schumacher, who's on his strategy. Need him to get by Alonso as well. We're going to actually just put him on high until he has to pit. I know we're burning up fuel, but I think it's worth it. Alright, so your first pit stopper comes out. It's Liam Lawson. Oh, there's a fire in the pit lane. That's not good. Is he going to keep going after? Or does that mean he's out? No, he's back out. So that was ahead of us, I believe. So it's going to move Vettel up a position. Alright, so we have Ricardo still behind Alonso, who's the person I was mainly focusing on. We're going to have him go into neutral. We're going to have him go straight on the medium because I'm going to concede a little bit of defeat here with Ricardo. Just got to focus on our next pit stop. So we can pit now and be fine, but these tires are absolutely on fire. Just they're melting. So it looks like the harder compounds were not the ones to go with for strategy, I believe. We're going to let Vettel go onto neutral here for a little bit. I think we're going to run him out of fuel before we run him out of tires. If that's the case, we can pit him onto the super softs. But we're going to pit Ricardo straight onto the softs. We'll pit him this lap. We're going to see fuel options here. We have to choose how much fuel he has in. So we are going to go with the... We're going to go within a half a lap if it's over 10. And then we're going to go on the mark if it's under 10. So that's going to be how much fuel we're going to put in the car. We're going to let him attack into the box. We're going to try to catch him before he comes in. Did not do that right. Alright, so we're going to have him pull out and conserve immediately. So he's in 15th place. He's got Schumacher ahead of him. He's going to have to pit. Vettel we're going to put back on conserve. We're actually going to have Ricardo back up. So you just need to watch when Vettel's about to run out of fuel. And how long do they get the super softs to last? They got the super softs to last about 18 laps. So I think we're going to bite the bullet now. Potentially. Yeah, we're just going to bite the bullet now and bring him in and put on the super soft tire. And then we're going to be 11 laps remaining. That will go over. You can burn that off. How long does it take to fuel? Did it show you how long it takes? Okay, so it only is a 2-second pit stop. Well, how much for it to fill up the whole way? Oh, okay, so it doesn't really add anything. Alright, so we're going to put 11.25 on. We're going to have him attack into the box. We're going to try to catch him like we didn't catch. And we're going to go on to neutral, or conserve. I still messed that up. Congratulations. Okay, so we're going to have Ricardo out. We're going to see where Vettel is. That was a glitch. So it says we have excess fuel, so we're gonna keep him on medium here. We're gonna go to 4 times speed because I need to put him on backup. He's too far back from Gasly, so we're just gonna have him back up and potentially steal a fastest lap here, maybe? Potentially. So Ricardo's pushing. Ricardo looks like he's gonna be able to get ahead of Alonso. Maybe even Schwartzman if Schwartzman kind of falls back. Nope. Schwartzman does not fall back enough. We're going to put Vettel onto neutral. I'm going to let him loose. We're going to get ahead of Alonso with Ricardo, which is good. We're going to keep an eye on Vettel here. We're actually going to have Vettel conserve and go low. And we're going to watch him when he comes around the final corner, and then we're going to tell him to push. Just go full out just for a lap. Try to set his fastest lap of the race. We're going to watch Ricardo come across the line, see if he has enough fuel. So 6 laps remaining. You should have enough. Okay, that was fun while it lasted. We're going to have to put Ricardo on conserve. Ricardo is, I believe, catching Ocon. We are catching Lawson. Are we about to get lapped? We are about to get... Okay, so Ricardo's been lapped. Vettel has not been lapped. So we're just going to put Vettel back on neutral here. So he's closer on fuel than Ricardo is. Okay, so we're going to just have Vettel go on conserve for these last couple laps here. He should be able to be comfortably in the good. He's going to get lapped here, and then we can... Oh, this is the final lap. That'll end the race. George Russell's going to win. Ricardo's going to come across the line and finish 13th. So following the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, we have Ricardo finishing 13th. Your points are Schwartzman. We get Vettel in second, or not second. We get him in 9th place, getting 2 points. The rest of your points is Gasly, Hamilton, Norris, Sainz, Perez. Your podium, Verstappen, Leclerc. Your winner, Russell. Looking at your Drivers' Championship, we have 7 cars at the bottom that have not scored points yet. We have Porsche moving up. He had that pit fire in that race, so that was pretty wild to see. We have Vettel moving up to 10th. We already have both drivers scoring points, so that's a hell of an improvement from last year. Ricardo moves down as Leclerc and Verstappen move up. Russell is establishing himself as kind of the championship favorite, but it's only 2 races in, so not much to read out of that. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had anybody really surpass that 26 points mark in the 2 races, so we've had a lot of back and forths because I think Leclerc wrecked out of the first race, and I also believe Verstappen did as well. From your team's championship, we still have Aston and Haas at the bottom with no points. We have Alpine, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri only with a handful, 2 and 1 respectively. We're solidly in 5th and no man's land, which is kind of quickly developing. We have Mercedes at the top. Definitely have the favorite at the moment with Russell. Russell's doing kind of what Hamilton was doing at the end of last year. Ferrari, 44 points, only a point ahead of Red Bull, and McLaren, 34. Hopefully McLaren is actually able to compete with the Red Bulls and the Ferraris this year to kind of make it a little bit more of an interesting fight for the title. Following Jeddah, we gain $125,000. Alright, so looking at the pit crew here, we're going to do some rotation. Hopefully, we're not going to have to worry about these kind of high percentages. The lack of kind of a bench that we have here is, I think, going to be a big detriment throughout the season, and I think it's going to force our hand in kind of hiring and firing people, which is unfortunate. So hopefully we can manage it better and not really have anybody up in these high percentages. But with this only being or heading into the 3rd race, I don't like this almost 1% mistake chance. Alright, so we've rotated our pit crew. We got everyone mostly off of the car. Fixing, we don't really have to worry about fixing, but we get most people under 0.3 except for the rear jack, that's 0.4. We got the mail screen. We have stuff about the last race, all about Russell. Got an interview with Martin Brundle at Sky Sports. Russell easily won the last race, finishing ahead of Leclerc by 28 seconds. Do you agree with me that F1 is too predictable at the moment? No. This series is a fantastic display of engineering excellence. For me, this is what the sport is all about. Alright, so from part improvement, we have the new gearbox ends 1548 initial stat, and then the cap is 1588. We're not going to have it done for the next race, unfortunately, but yeah, we're getting some good gearboxes in the car. So from the part design screen, that new gearbox has really propelled us up past that average mark. I did talk about it earlier where I want to start focusing on things that are kind of underneath the average mark. I think we'll go to engines next, but if we make one more gearbox, that means we're going to have 2 above average parts on the car, so I believe that's what we're going to do. So looking at our options for building a gearbox, I don't like this kind of great tab, kind of our selection we have here. I could just build another gearbox that's the exact same as the last one, but I'd like to make improvements. I think we're just going to go build a new engine. Looking at a new engine, this is going to be the average part that we're going to put on it, and it'll be done 18 days after the race. Getting ready for Melbourne, I don't know why it said $600,000 last time. That wasn't what we got. So we're gonna get the $125,000. No sponsor select. Tire selection 15, 10, 10. Part fitting, we do not have anything new to put on the cars that has good reliability, but we're gonna move on to Australia. Getting ready for practice. Vettel, Ricardo are gonna be our two drivers. It's kind of like stabled out at that 3.5 stars. Hopefully it stays like that for the rest of the season. I'd love to keep Vettel and Ricardo in the cars. Looking at the setup, we're going to focus on the soft tire. A lot of these big tracks, it's hard to kind of get level 3 on 2 different tires, so I think we're only just going to be able to get level 3 on the soft tires, but we're going to skip through practice. Following practice, we have Vettel in 14th, Ricardo in 13th, and then top of the board is George Russell. Getting ready for qualifying, we're putting Ricardo and Vettel on level 2 quali trim. Just because the engineer that Ricardo has, we have the sweeter spots. I really don't like focusing on the super softs unless I know it's going to be a situation where they're going to be useful in the race. So, yeah, we were unable to focus on the super softs, so Vettel only gets quali level 2. Looking at the car setup, we're going to send Ricardo just on a reconnaissance lap and send him straight back in. Just going to get a read on the setup. I'm pretty sure the adjustment's going to be perfect for him, so that'll kind of fix everything here. Vettel's 98%, so all good to go there. But, yeah, we're going to move on to qualifying. Alright, so Ricardo comes to start his lap. We're going to see what he can do here. Green sector. 1.2 down, 2 seconds down. He goes 13th and Vettel goes 11th. So Vettel comes around the final corner. He's going to start his lap. We're going to see what he can do here. He's up his first sector. Ricardo is down. Vettel's up his second sector. Ricardo is down. And then crossing the line, Vettel goes 11th. And Ricardo actually improves and goes 12th. Alright, so getting ready for the Australian Grand Prix. We have decided to go with the medium tires. I think with kind of how cold this track can be, with the tires, I think pushing on the harder compound is going to be better for us here. The reason why I'm not splitting them is because I don't feel like we're going to be able to maintain somebody on the soft tires, have them keep the temperature, and then also make them go to lap 20. So I'm going to take the risk, just go on the medium tire, and hopefully we can catch the people off guard. Setup-wise, we're 98%, and then this is going to be our driver strategy. I think we're only going to push for about 2 laps, and then we're going to actually just put them onto the high engine mode, just so we can give it some engine pace and keep moving, because it doesn't take that much to keep pumping fuel back in the car. So yeah, just attack, overtake for a little bit, and then we're going to go on to probably push or neutral, and then medium engine mode. But we're going to move on to the starting grid. Your starting grid for the Australian Grand Prix is George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, Robert Schwartzman, Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, Liam Lawson, Oscar Piastri, Teo Pourchaire, Dennis Hauger, Fernando Alonso, Guan Yu Zhou, Mick Schumacher, and Lance Stroll. Alright, so here are your 5 red lights. We have Hamilton, Ocon, and Schwartzman ahead of us, all on the soft compounded tires. Typically, we don't see that at a lot of the top teams. They usually just stick with a soft tire and then try to spread them out at the beginning. But yeah, looking here at the tire temperatures, we're immediately going to go on to push, just to kind of maintain the tire temperatures. Vettel's currently in 12th. Ricciardo in 13th. We're battling each other. Hopefully we can get ahead of Piastri here. Piastri looking to get Aston Martin's first points in God knows how long. So we seem to have a pretty competitive race going on at the moment. We're going to put both cars on high engine mode. Going to focus on Ricciardo here and just kind of see what's going on here with the tires. Got a lot of people on overtake and neutral. Are they going to maintain overtake for the whole race? That's very interesting. Apologies if you can hear thunder. It's starting to thunderstorm out. Yeah, I wonder if they're just going on overtake because they know they can just keep the... They can just fill up the car with fuel and it doesn't really add too much time. That's actually fairly clever because I think in the base game, when you're refueling, it adds a bunch of weight to the car. You can't really... You got to put just enough fuel in to make to your first pit stop, and then it costs a lot of time to refuel the car as well. And that gives it a really good balance of just, making sure that you're not going ham, like we are here. So, yeah, this is an interesting dynamic of just strategy. Yeah, they're going for it. So we're able to stick behind Hamilton. Our tires are looking okay. I think we could do better with them, but we're just going to hold that neutral. Make sure the tires don't get cold, so you don't get that hard pace drop off. Looks like Vettel is just doing a really good job these last couple laps, just putting in some green sectors. It's good. We're up to 10th. As it looks like Sainz has pitted. Sainz has just passed Ricciardo back, so we've lost that potential position. Hopefully we see Piastri and Hamilton pitting in soon. Hopefully before the lap 20 mark. Okay, I think we're in dire straits here at the moment. Looks like we were a little too hard on the tires at the beginning. So we're just going to take the pace drop off. Just to stretch it to lap 20. Alright, so they're starting lap 20 now. We're going to pit Vettel in on the medium tire. After pitting, it's going to have 20 laps left, so we're going to put in just under 20 laps of fuel. Because then we'll put him onto... Actually, can we just fill his car up completely? How much time does that add? How much fuel do I need to put in it to make it... It's 2 seconds. Okay. I mean, it's only 0.3 seconds. I mean, it only takes away 0.02. Yeah, we're just going to fill him up and just let him go overtake to the end of the race. I think we're going to hold Ricciardo out a lap, potentially. Because Ricciardo is too close to... I know, we're going to pit Ricciardo this time. We're going to fill him up as well. So we get Vettel out of the box. We just get Ricciardo into the box. We did a perfect double stop. That's awesome to see. Oh, we did not change tires on Vettel. No! Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is an amateur mistake right there. So we're going to have to pit Vettel for tires. There goes his race. It's 20th place. We're going to put both cars, or we're going to let Vettel conserve. Alright, we're going to let Ricciardo push. Ricciardo's in 16th. And we're going to push Vettel. Just keep an eye here on their strategies and see what everyone's doing. So it looks like most people are kind of conserving and whatever, but I'm just going to keep it on this stupid push strategy. So we're going to push Ricciardo until his tires start to get worn, and then we can put him on neutral. Or not get worn, but get warm when they get close to that hot mark. what the red is on the tire temperature. Up to 13th Ricardo, or 14th, I mean. Can't believe I did that with Vettel. Okay, we have Porsche just crashed out. All right, we're going to put Ricardo and Vettel onto neutral just to kind of maintain some of this this tire wear. I think most people ahead of us are going to be able to make it. We really need Piastri and Ocon not to make it on tires, maybe even Hamilton. But Piastri and Ocon. Oh man, no, we're. Damn it, we would have been there with Vettel. Alright, so they have about 5 laps left on their tires. Yeah, we're not in points contention unless someone crashes out ahead of us, and we have a hard charging. It looks like Fernando Alonso coming up behind us. Alright, so we're going to go on to push these last couple laps. I know we're getting low on tire wear. It looks like Ocon and Piastri are going to actually have to pit here. Because if we're not going to make our tires last, I don't know how they can make their tires last. So they're going to pit for soft tires. Okay, now I think Ricardo is in potential danger here. And we just need one more person ahead of us to kind of have a mistake and we're in the points again. Alright, Ricardo's got 2 laps to hold off a hard-charging Fernando Alonso. We got Piastri coming up behind. We have Hamilton. That looks like he's just overtaken Schwartzman. Alright, we're coming up to the line for Ricardo, and Ricardo is going to finish 11th, and Vettel's going to cross the line 16th. After the Australian Grand Prix, these are your final results. That's very embarrassing that I didn't change his tires. That's absolute rookie mistake there. That was more than likely points for Vettel potentially, and yeah, and then we have Ricardo just on the cusp there. Looking at your points, you got Schwartzman, Lawson, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Gasly, Leclerc, your podium, Norris, Verstappen, your winner, again, George Russell. Taking a look at the Drivers' Championship, we still have 7 drivers that have not scored points yet. Only 3 races in, so I don't expect it to stay that way. We've got 2 Aston Martins of Piastri and Stroll looking like they're doing pretty good comparatively to last year. Haas and Zhou, or Haas and Zhou. Both Haas's of Schumacher and Zhou look like they're struggling. They might be the worst team for this year. We've got Lawson moving ahead of Vettel. We got Ricardo moving down behind Piastri, or not Piastri, Pierre Gasly. You got Perez moving ahead of Hamilton. You got Verstappen moving ahead of Norris and Sainz. And then you have Russell at the top, just kind of dominating these first 3 races. From your team's championship, we are still kind of firmly in 5th place, too far behind McLaren already, and we're a little bit ahead of AlphaTauri, so we're doing a pretty good job there. Aston and Haas still have not scored points, and Mercedes with the strong results from Russell really built up the lead, and then you got a couple points on there from Hamilton as well. So leaving Melbourne, we get $154,000. Those interested, here are the results from the second Formula 2 race. You got Nick Tandy, Neil Yanni, and Giovinazzi on the podium. Yanni with the fastest lap. We're going to scroll through here and show the rest of these results. Alright, so looking at your Drivers' Championship, you've got Giovinazzi on top. You got Nick Tandy right behind him. They're kind of separating themselves from Neil Yanni, who's in 3rd, who's got a teammate, Will Stevens. right behind him, holding 20 points. Just looking through here, the rest of the championship grid. You got Graham Rahal. That's kind of funny to see him in F2 at his age. Yeah, it looks like the highest up kind of young driver is Yuri Vips, currently in 7th with Pietro Fittipaldi right behind him. So, yeah, not a lot of youngsters for the top F1 teams to pick from. So, yeah, this should be an interesting development for next year potentially with kind of who finishes where and potentially who's going to play into the driver transfers for next year. Looking at your team's championship, you got 3 kind of powerhouse teams of Dams, Trident, Van Amersfoort. And then you've got pretty much everyone else behind, and then you got Campos at the bottom with no points. So that concludes today's episode. Yeah, I still am not over that stupid mistake I made with Vettel not changing the tires on his car. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but I don't think that's going to play too much into our kind of placing this year. I think we're kind of comfortably where we are with our car compared to everyone else. We're kind of just behind all the McLarens and the Mercedes, Red Bulls, Ferraris, but ahead of everyone else. But we're fighting everyone behind us, and then occasionally we're fighting kind of who's falling off the top pack. So I think our points total is not going to be affected by that. Missed out, 2 or 3 points. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But yeah, we got Russell kind of excelling this year. I wonder, is Hamilton starting to regress a little bit? No, Hamilton's not really regressing. So yeah, that's interesting to see. But it looks like maybe they have a favored car and they've just moved Russell to it or something, and that's why Russell's doing so good this year, because this is pretty much a mirror of what happened at the end of last year, where Hamilton was dominating but Russell was kind of down where Hamilton is currently. So yeah, but that works out well for us. We get kind of a new interesting contender for the title at the top of George Russell, so good for him. But yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, all that dumb YouTube stuff, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.